Hey, my people, we need to talk about Guinea, the world's second largest producer of bauxite, home to the biggest bauxite reserves on the planet. Now, bauxite, if you don't know, is the stuff that makes modern life possible. Talking about your smartphone, your car, that airplane you're flying in, and even your soda can. None of it exists without Guinea's red dirt. No bauxite, no aluminum. Simple as that. And yet, for decades, the people of Guinea have watched foreign companies dig up their land, haul away their minerals, and leave behind not much. Just broken promises, environmental damage, and a nation still trapped in poverty, despite sitting on a gold mine of resources. But hey, this week, Guinea's government made a bold move. They revoked the licenses of 51 mining companies. That's right, just like that. Why? Well, officially, for non-compliance reasons, failure to meet investment commitments, development goals, failure to actually do the work. And if you've been following the breakdown, you know it's never just about paperwork. It's about power play. But the question is, power for who, right? Is it for Guinea? For the military leader? Or for bigger forces playing chess in West Africa? Because remember, this isn't happening in a vacuum. From Mali to Niger to Burkina Faso, the Sahel is in flux. Coups, sanctions, foreign troops pulling out, new alliances forming. It's a whole new geopolitical game in the Sahel. So today on the breakdown, we're asking, is Guinea finally taking back control of its resources? And can it turn that into real power for its people? Or is this just the next round in the never-ending battle over Africa's mineral wealth with new players, but the same old game? Because it's about who controls Africa's resources on African terms. It's about the Sahel, the military leaders, the shift away from Western influence. And yes, it's about Guinea's future in a world where raw materials are the new oil. We're about to break it all the way down. But first, a big welcome to all of our new subscribers and members. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're watching and haven't joined us yet, please consider this your personal invitation. Because here at Panda Genius TV, we're not just building a channel, we're creating a home for global Black stories that are told with truth, with intention, and with care. And if that speaks to you, and I hope it does, be sure to hit subscribe, tap the bell, drop a super thanks, or join our membership community where we go beyond the headlines with exclusive content, behind the scenes conversations, and a front row seat to the dialogue shaping our future. Because this isn't just content, it's a movement, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. All right, now let's break it down. Okay, so what just happened? Let's rewind the clock a bit. In 2022, Guinea's new military leader, who came into power by way of coup, President Mamadi Doumbouya, issued a new set of rules and a stark warning to mining companies in Guinea.
Guinea's ruling junta has given foreign companies until the end of May to submit proposals and a timetable for the construction of bauxite refineries. Colonel Mamadou Doumbouya on Saturday told industrialists to do this before the end of May and to ensure all raw materials used in the manufacturing process be produced locally. The junta head also warned that foreign companies that violate the refinery construction deadlines will be penalized.
I guess he wasn't playing, because this week the government took a drastic step. It has revoked the mining licenses of 51 companies. Not a minor reshuffle, full-on license cancellations. Why? Officially, the government says it's about non-compliance. Many of these companies failed to meet their contractual obligations, promises about investment levels, development projects, local job creation, and even environmental protections. Some of these companies simply didn't start operations within the required timeframes. Others also failed to build crucial local processing infrastructure. A prime example is Emirates Global Aluminum, EGA, one of the biggest players in Guinea's bauxite sector. They promised to build an alumina refinery in Guinea, processing the raw bauxite on Guinean soil to add value before export, but missed deadlines and didn't deliver. That's a direct violation of Guinea's updated 2023 mining code, which mandates local processing to prevent the country from being just a raw material exporter. Smart move. Now, the government says these actions are part of a cleanup effort, right? Enforcing stricter rules, tightening oversight, and ensuring that mining actually benefits Guinea's people, not just foreign corporations. Now let's talk scale. Guinea holds the world's largest bauxite reserves, around 7.4 billion metric tons, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It's the second largest producer of bauxite globally, supplying roughly 20% of the world's bauxite exports. Aluminum, the metal made from bauxite, is critical to everything from smartphones and cars to airplanes and power infrastructure. So this move sends ripples far beyond Conakry. Prices in global aluminum markets wavered as the news broke. Investors took notice, and analysts worldwide started asking, is this a crackdown on underperforming companies or the start of a bigger shakeup? Because here's the bigger picture. This isn't happening in isolation, right? It's part of a broader Sahel-wide shift where military-led governments in Guinea, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are pushing back against what they see as exploitative foreign influence. These governments are asserting what's called resource sovereignty, a claim that African countries must control their own resources and decide how they're exploited. So when Guinea revokes 51 licenses, it's a statement. We want more than just bauxite in the ground. We want real development, real jobs, real infrastructure on our terms. Because here's the hard truth. On the ground, ordinary Guineans are seeing the bauxite boom, but not feeling the benefits. The country's bauxite exports have surged over the past decade, but poverty, unemployment, and underdevelopment are still the daily reality.
In the last few years, the Bokeh region has been at the center of a boom in Guinea's bauxite industry, with Guinea emerging as one of the world's largest suppliers. Bauxite is refined into aluminium and used for products like cars, planes, and tin foil. But while mining has generated enormous profits for the Ghanaian government and mining companies, it has devastated the lives of many villagers that have lived in this area for generations. Mining has taken farmland, destroyed fields, cut off water sources, and coated houses and fields in dust. Company representatives insist that they have the right to mine the land and are balancing profitability with communities' interests.
Il faut arriver à satisfaire on va dire les deux parties, c'est-à-dire les populations et l'entreprise qui se trouvent sur un terrain que l'État lui a octroyé pour exploiter une zone.
But while mining companies are required by law to protect communities, Guinea's thirst for foreign investment means that companies are too often allowed to cut corners.
Il faudrait que nous soyons très clairs, nous sommes un pays pauvre. Nous constatons que les sociétés minières ne respectent pas les mesures environnementales et sociales qu'il faut. Et ce n'est pas facile pour nous de fermer d'un trait cette société.
As Guinea's mining industry expands, the government's capacity to oversee the industry must keep pace. A failure to do so will mean that, far from being the solution to Guinea's underdevelopment, mining will continue to be a threat to the lives and livelihoods of villagers in this area.
All right, now let's zoom out and really think about what Guinea's move really tells us. West Africa's been on a wild ride lately. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Guinea, all with military takeovers shaking up the region. These aren't just random coups. These new leaders are saying, we're done letting foreign powers call the shots, especially when it comes to our resources. So when Guinea cancels 51 mining licenses, it's not just about bad paperwork or broken contracts. It's part of a bigger pushback and no more playing by old rules moment. These countries want control, real control. They want their resources to actually help their people, jobs, infrastructure, investment, not just get shipped out while the money goes elsewhere. And that shakes up the whole global game. You've got China, which has poured billions into Guinea's mining sector. They're big players here. But even Chinese companies aren't off the hook. They're being told to step up or step aside. Western countries, meanwhile, are watching this very nervous because Guinea isn't just any country. It's a key supplier of bauxite, a mineral that's critical for everything from your phone to green energy tech. So if Guinea clamps down too hard, it could ripple through global supply chains. But here's the thing. These military governments are taking a gamble. They know that pushing back might scare off some investors or slow growth. But for them, sovereignty, having the power to decide what happens on their land, is worth the risk. It's a bold move that tells us something important. The Sahel and West Africa aren't just a stage for foreign powers anymore. They're willing to rewrite the playbook. Their message, our resources, our rules. Okay, now let's get real about what this means on the ground in Guinea. The mining sector is huge in Guinea. I mean, it's the backbone of the economy. In 2024 alone, Guinea exported over 146 million metric tons of bauxite, making up around 20% of the world's supply. So when licenses get pulled like this, it's not just a headline. It affects jobs, government revenues, and local communities who rely on mining. The government says this is about making sure mining actually benefits Guineans. More jobs, more infrastructure, more local processing, so they're not just selling raw dirt to the world. But here's the challenge. You can't just kick companies out and expect the economy to keep humming smoothly. If investors get spooked, if big projects stall, that can mean fewer jobs and less government money for schools, hospitals, roads, everything. Guinea is walking a tightrope. They need to show that they're serious about control and sovereignty without scaring off the capital and expertise needed to grow the sector sustainably. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So what's the move? Well, first, Guinea must focus on investing in local capacity and infrastructure. It's not enough to just control the licenses. Guinea has to build up its own mining infrastructure, refineries, processing plants, and train local workers. This is often the challenge for African nations. This means more than just exporting raw bauxite. It means moving up the value chain to create jobs and local economic growth. Secondly, it must engage communities and stakeholders. Local communities must see the benefits. That means better environmental protections, fair compensation, and social investments, schools, healthcare, roads. Without community buy-in, projects face resistance and delays. Number 3, Guinea needs to balance sovereignty with stability, and that's a tough one. But the government needs to create a stable, predictable environment. The Sahel is volatile right now, and political instability scares off investors. Strong institutions, respect for the rule of law, and consistent enforcement would be critical. And number 4, building strategic partnerships instead of zero-sum games. Guinea should seek partnerships that align with interests, whether with regional neighbors, China, Russia, Europe, or the US. Smart diplomacy can unlock investment and technology transfer while preserving sovereignty. And number 6, prepare for global market shifts. The demand for bauxite and aluminum will rise with green energy and tech. Guinea should leverage this moment to position itself as a reliable, responsible supplier adapting policies to meet evolving global standards on sustainability and corporate responsibility. Hey, the bottom line here is that Guinea stands at a crossroads. Its bold move could pay off, but only if done right. It can become a model for African resource sovereignty done right, or it can fall into the pitfalls of mismanagement and short-term gains. The whole world's watching Guinea now, and how this plays out could shape the future of resource governance across Africa. So, my people, where do we go from here? Guinea's move is a clear sign that the old rules are breaking down. The world's supply chains for critical minerals are at a crossroads. And what happens here will ripple through industries everywhere, from tech to clean energy to defense. Countries that rely on Guinea's bauxite and African resources more broadly need to rethink how they engage. This isn't just about contracts and exports. It's about sovereignty, ensuring fair partnerships, and recognizing that resource-rich countries want real benefits for their people. If the global community ignores this shift, they risk losing access altogether or getting locked into unstable, unpredictable markets. And there's a bigger lesson here about power, that, hey, Africa is no longer a passive player in global resource politics. Military juntas or not, governments are demanding their place at the table and on their terms. And for Guinea, the most critical thing is what happens from here. Will the government balance sovereignty with smart, transparent policy? Will they build trust with communities and investors alike? Can they turn this moment of disruption into a foundation for long-term sustainable growth? Because the world is watching, and Guinea's next steps could unlock tremendous potential or deepen uncertainty. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Guinea's move, and what should happen next? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this episode insightful, make sure you hit subscribe, tap the bell, and consider joining our membership community where we'd go deeper beyond the headlines. That's it for today's show. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.